We are going to talk about how to practice autopathy today, according or following the new book, Autopathy Handbook, written by Mr. Cehovský, the founder of Autopathy. Welcome. My first question is, how is this new book different from the previous two that you have written on the topic of autopathy?
In the history of autopathy, which is now 17 years, in the course of it developed different methods about how to proceed in treatment of chronic disease. Some significant discoveries concerning the kind of preparation, the potency which can be used in specific cases, etc. And when it was developing this way, I was adding these experiences to my books. So the first book, Autopathy, Homeopathic Journey to Harmony, is partly about how it has developed from classical homeopathy, because autopathy is really based on classical homeopathy, and all basic principles of classical homeopathy are in use here in autopathy. Mm-hmm. The only difference is that in homeopathy we look for sources of information in nature. We take this healing information from plants or animals or minerals, etc. While in autopathy we take it from the body of the person to be healed.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Which is the basic difference, really. In the last development, we reached really areas which are completely different from homeopathy. I will mention it later, that we are able to take the healing information from the subtle body of man, from prana, from chakras, mm-hmm. which is completely different from mm-hmm. homeopathy. But it is only the last development.
So does it mean that
5 years?
So does it mean that the new book includes new methods of preparation?
Yeah. This book has the main difference from this one and also this one, which are used for many years by people practicing autopathy. The first said it contains those methods when we take the information from the subtle body of man, from chakras. Mm-hmm. This is really the main difference.
Thank you. So let's have a look at the book itself. It has several parts. It begins with an introduction, and then it is divided into 9 chapters. Could you tell us what is in the introduction, for example? Can you introduce the book?
Yeah, I really have as a first part a short introduction where I define what's autopathy. I remind this, what was previously said in books mm-hmm. Published before, and I also remind that this is not experience also from my practice as homeopath and later autopath, mm-hmm. but mm-hmm. it's experience which is shared by many people at conferences. Every year we organize an annual conference which is well attended by users of autopathy, mm-hmm. counselors, and also people who use it for self-treatment. And we have usually there about 15 contributions, mm-hmm. which are mostly about cured, incurable diseases. Mm-hmm. So
but I think it's still
it varies from allergies, eczemas, migraines to some also very serious states of mm-hmm. body and mind. and it's referred every year at conferences. They were 11 until now.
All right. So you share the information with other practitioners of autopathy at the conferences. Where else can we learn about the experiences of other people with autopathy?
I included these experiences also to the book. So there are chapters about cases of my students, in fact, or readers of the book, because many people practice only with the book in hand. It's handbook.
All right.
So it's not only for learning, but also for practicing. When people in their practice reach to some moment where they have to decide what to do, they can take it and look at it. Because it's structured in the way we proceed with the treatment.
Yeah, so the first chapter is about how to do it. So what's new about the method of preparation then?
In autopathy, we have no such moments when we deny something what was said or experienced previously. We only add new experiences. And in this, I think the main contribution of this book is really the preparation from prana, I call it.
Yeah. Are there also any other or new ways, or is there any new knowledge concerning, for example, the change of potency, or how to proceed when old ailments are reoccurring? Or
Yes. There is a complete system how we proceed from the beginning, seeing for the first time the client, and how we make the autopathic interview and taking information from the client about his suffering. And then we go to establishing 3 parameters of autopathy, which are at the first place potency. Potency doesn't mean strength or something like that. It's a word which is used in classical homeopathy and means level of dilution, because we must this information from the client, we must make it go to a higher level, which is more subtle level. And in this subtle level also operates our life force. Autopathy is about stimulating our life force. The subtitle is enhancing our life force. You know what's life force? It's a part of man which was always taken in account in treatment of illnesses, in Chinese medicine, in Ayurveda medicine, and also in homeopathy. Despite that it had different names according to cultures. So in China it's Qi, in India it's prana, and in European homeopathy it's life force. But it's still the same flow of information constituting the body and mind of people, and which connects us with the higher levels of existence. So it's idealistic method.
So how can we find out what kind of potency we need to enhance our life force?
Yeah, it's individual, and we establish this level of dilution at the beginning according to vitality of the client. lowest vitality, people who are very old or suffer very serious inner problems of inner organs, or such cases need only 1.5 liters of water poured to this autopathy bottle, which is means to dilute the information to the subtle level where it can meet vital force.
You devote a whole chapter to high potencies, so when do we use the high potencies then?
Yeah, at the beginning we always begin with low potencies, so we spend about 1.5 liters for dilution, or at maximum 6 liters, but not every day, only every week, and sometimes also less often. And during some time, of course, in only some cases, we reach even much higher potencies, which are used only for a longer period of time. It means for 1 year or 2 years. So, in fact, the amount of water is still very low, comparing it with the water spent in your bathroom for hygiene.
So that's my question. So what is the high potency? How much water do I need to pour in the bottle?
Yeah, 1.5 liters in low vitalities, 3 liters in medium, and 6 liters in high vitalities. And
so does it mean
high vitality is a child with chronic eczema, which has only superficial problem on the periphery. In spite that it can be very painful, it's still very high vitality. And most people start with 3 liters only, which is medium.
Okay, so we start with 3 liters, then move on to 6 liters. Can we use, for example, 100 liters?
No, it's rare, yeah. It was also done, but it's very rare, and for a long period of time. It's also good to say that the first parameter of autopathy is potency, so the level of dilution, but the second very important is kind of preparation, because in the course of development of this method we found different methods of it. At the beginning we used only saliva, which brings information about the whole mind and body. The second method, which appeared as very efficient, even more efficient than saliva, was information from breath. We simply breathe through water, which is present in this part by nostrils. And the third main method is that we started to boil it, the water in the autopathy bottle, which brings some contributions, especially for people who suffer with parasites. And because parasites are now present in everybody, almost everybody, statistics say that such common parasites as Candida or Chlamydia or others are present everywhere in all organisms.
And you also mentioned that you can make a preparation from prana.
And the third, which has now the main importance, is preparation made from prana.
And you explain probably what the difference is.
There are videos at the website autopathy.com how to do it. There are also the user guides at the website and also in the book.
Yeah.
All user guides are in the book concerning every kind of preparation we have.
All right. Now, there is a chapter about how to avoid mistakes in making the autopathic preparation. So, what are the most common mistakes? You can comment.
Some mistakes were observed in selection of water, because the water shouldn't contain chlorine. And
so what kind of water can we use then?
So we use the normal bottled water, which is not sparkling and comes from a natural source. Yeah.
All right.
And without any additives. It's very important.
Yeah. Are there any
additives can really mix with the information from the man and completely spoil the effect.
Yes. Can we make a mistake while preparing the autopathic preparation?
Yeah. So I have a list of moments which appeared as dangerous for the right process.
Yeah, so they're all listed in the book.
And this is kind of water. This is, for instance, a mistake in evaluation of the development. I have there a case. Its name is "Nothing Has Happened," said the client coming to me. But after that, I found that about 5 or 10 symptoms were disappeared or were improved a great deal. But she forgot it. And she told me nothing has happened because she still didn't sleep 8 hours a night, but only 6, comparing with the original state when she was sleeping only 3 hours a night. Yes. But she forgot it.
So that's why it's probably very important to take a proper account of the changes.
In the book is really, I suppose, well described how we observe the development of the case. Yeah. Also, the client has to make notices if something's changing. Yeah? So if he notices that, for instance, she sleeps 2 hours longer, she has to write it down. Because after 5 weeks, when we usually meet again for follow-up consultation, it can be completely forgotten.
Yes, so that's why it's probably beneficial sometimes to visit a practitioner and not to rely on self-treatment only.
Self-treatment is also possible, of course, because the simplicity of the method. We have no such goals as to find a remedy from thousands of remedies, or
like in homeopathy.
And such things. So we have only 3 potencies at the beginning to choose for individual case. We have only 5 methods of preparation, and we have only very few possibilities how to face the administration. So it's usually once a week. They prepare it once a week in their bathroom. The clients, not the practitioner. Very rarely also practitioners do it. And
yeah, so it's an easy to use method.
Very clearly explained here. Yeah.
One more thing about the book, there's also a chapter on plant and animal treating. Do you have your own experience with this kind of treatment?
Yes, but because I focus mostly on humans, which is a really larger chapter of my interest in books. I have many students who also try to cure animals and plants, and they came to surprising results.
And it's described in the book?
Yeah. In the book are about 5 or 10 cases of animals, of chronically ill animals or plants which were cured. Because plants and animals, as well as people, are connected to the higher level of existence, to the idea, to the source, you know. All we are connected in this point. So it's about to renew our connection. People, as well as plants and animals, are distuned to the source, to the broadcasting source, which broadcasts the perfect music, perfect harmony, but sometimes we are not able to receive it. So we must tune again to better reception. This is about.
And I suppose people who are more interested in the philosophy maybe and in the cases that you're describing, they can read the book and find out more.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.